Hello, everybody. I'm going to make Tammy host here. Make Tammy host, yes. There we go. If I can close this off, then we can get started. Okay. So hopefully I don't tip this all over myself like I did last time. I gotta be honest with you guys. I've been experiencing some interesting energy getting ready for this live today. The first thing is that when I sat down to set up the equipment downstairs, because as you guys can see, I'm downstairs in the center instead of upstairs in my living room. The first thing that happened as I was setting the equipment up is it went real blurry, which this has been happening from time to time now when I'm doing readings. Spirit, for what, I don't know if they're getting stronger, if the veil between this world and that world is getting thinner. I know that their ability to kind of show themselves in the physical is getting a little bit stronger. So as I was setting up today, and often now, as I'm getting the equipment set up, it'll go all blurry and then it'll just completely stop. And then if we get onto a certain subject with spirit and it gets really hot and heavy, then it gets real blurry again. And it's because, I don't know, I think, like I said, I'm not exactly sure. I think spirit is, I don't know if the veil's getting thinner, they're getting stronger, what this is. But anyway, so somebody's been here the entire day. Somebody that I don't know if I have read for before or recently because I don't recognize the spirit. Oh, who's just come on? Gina, can you put it on mute for us for a second? Because we can hear ya. Thank you. So yeah, this is coming from you, just so you know. That's very apparent. What I'm saying is like, soon as okay, let me try to do this again. Clear my head. Try to talk again, Tracy. Spirit's really strong today, guys. As I'm doing my sage and my blessing, they're fogging out the camera. They're choking off my breathing so I can't breathe. Right as you were doing all that clicky stuff, I could feel this person's energy step forward. I'm like sweating now because I get really hot when they get really close to me. So, guys, let's just jump in and do this. Steph, I'm coming to you first, though. You were here first, so I'm coming to you first. Awesome. Ready to do this?
You betcha.
I
gotta get off my bed though.
Just for a second.
Yeah.
Just for a second. Okay, both feet flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me and give me a minute to focus. Okay. So Steph, your grandma usually steps forward. Because I've read for you a number of times, I recognize her energy right away. But she's bringing somebody from another side of the family forward. So this is not a blood relation to her, but she brought somebody forward that has passed recently. I almost wonder if this is for your husband's side of the family, to be honest with you, because she brought this person forward. And what I do know about this person is that they passed sometime within the last, I would say 3 to 6 months, that they're again a breathing thing, and it feels like it hit quicker than we were expecting, like something happened very fast. They were definitely not 70, 80, 90 when they died, so I'm getting the impression that they passed somewhat before we would think of as their time. And there's something about distance or space, so I'm not sure if they were a distance away when they passed or it had been some time since you'd spoken. Now, again, I'm not exactly sure if this is with your family or with your husband, because what your grandma is saying is that it's not her family, it's not blood relation, but she's bringing this person forward for you. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to think of somebody who's passed
Did your husband,
even within the last year and on his side, and I don't.
And see, my ear just really hurts. And she goes, okay, just keep, that's funny. I love your grandma. She's like, that's okay. You'll think of it when we're done. I've done this before, Tracy. And as soon as you said that, she's like, that's okay. Keep this here. And then she went right to what's going on in your world right now.
She
So,
knows I won't stop till I figure it out. That's why she's like, she'll get it. She'll figure
well,
it
you
out.
know what? She also showed me distance or space. So that could also mean that he hasn't spoken to them in some time and that you're going to
Mhm.
get word of this. I'm not exactly sure, but
Okay.
she's bringing them forward saying they're here with me. And then she goes, talk about the kid with the ear infection. I swear to God, we got to validate this before my ear pops. Has one of your kids had like an ear infection or an earache recently?
Mm-mm.
Somebody, okay, you say no, and she goes, no, 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 let's go to this. Did one of them have something to do with ear infections for some time? Because this is very specific. My ear is going. So either somebody got hit in the head really bad, or there's something to do with ongoing ear infections. Because I feel like it's like she's bringing it up. You have a 3-year-old, right?
Yes.
Set this down. So it's been some time since she had, it feels like. She's going to the 3-year-old. That's the little one, right?
Hmm.
And it feels like the way she's saying it to me, and again, you have to understand, I'm not exactly sure why she's bringing it up, other than to say that she's showing me the ear infection and she's showing me like the question marks, almost like if you didn't know what was bothering her or what the problem is. And then she takes me back. That's why I say it must be some time since she's had one, because I feel like I'm going back like about a year. Um, and my whole head is just throbbing. Has she been
Hmm.
not sick, but a little bit cranky lately?
Yeah, yeah, there's been a lot wrong with Mila lately, but she's up a lot more in the night. Yeah.
Check her, get something with her ears, okay? Check her ears. Even
Yep.
I don't know if you can go to Shoppers or something like that. I don't It's been a while since I've had a kid with ear infection, but I know you can get drops and stuff like that. But I know your grandma is it's seeing if your daughter's been not feeling so good lately and you've been up with her a
Hmm.
lot. That would be why grandma would bring it up, right? I don't know why, because I'm not in your life, but she's
Right.
going to listen. And if Mila's not so verbal about this all the time, sometimes it can be hard to tell when it's an ear
Definitely.
thing, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
But I know my ear is like throbbing, and as soon as we validated that, it started to go away.
Hmm.
So, and then and remember when I said she was showing me the question marks? I think
Yeah.
she's saying it's not as serious as what you were thinking. It's an ear infection, just an ear infection. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But because she's had all these health issues before, it might be easy to think that there's something bigger that could be going on. And she's like, just treat the ear and it will help enormously.
Right. That makes sense.
Your grandma said that it was her keeping you up. So it's almost like I feel like you're trying to stay up. Like I feel like I'm falling asleep and your grandma's there going, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake.
Uh,
Were you up in the middle of the night last night?
yeah, it was a weird night. The power was flickering and the power went out, and then Mila was up for a lot of the night, and I kept checking the monitor and it kept beeping because I couldn't find the plug. Just a lot of annoying stuff last night.
So she was definitely there with you. Interesting. What I find interesting about what you said is that I went through a similar experience last night sleep wise, not with baby monitors and stuff like that, but the energy was exactly the way you described. Very erratic, very wind blowy,
Hmm.
very whooshy, very waking up all night long. So interesting. So they're not really bringing up a lot of other stuff other than I think you're going to get word that somebody has passed that you haven't seen in some time. She's still bringing that up again. And so if that happens, just know that they're safe and at peace on the other side. Um, she's also giving you snow tires. I know it just snowed a little bit here, but she just gave you snow tires. Did you just put those on your car? Do you need them?
No, we just did them like 3 weeks ago.
Are you getting a rebate from that or something? Is there like
Okay,
money?
so we did get a rebate for them. Like we got rid of our truck, my truck, and we got 2 smaller SUVs, and they came with a rebate for winter tires. So we didn't even pay for them. They were free.
That's
Yeah.
what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she said winter tires, then she said rebate, and she is like, "You're welcome." This is her way of trying to give you little freebies and let you know that she's still here with you.
I actually thought that. I was like, that's so nice. Because I knew like it was 2 vehicles free tires. So it was pretty,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I love, see, she goes, when you said that, she's like, "Ah." So what she's proving right now is not only is she correct about this person who she has brought forward on the other side, but and that your daughter's ear is going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? She's like, check the
Yeah.
ear, but she's like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm interacting in your life. This is what I tell people all the time. Once you get to another level of communication with them, you ask for what you need, and they make it even better than what you need. Like you ask for a
Right.
truck, you get tires too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She said, thank you for putting up the Christmas stuff. Are you already putting up Christmas stuff?
I have the tree up, but I haven't decorated it yet. But I put the tree up. Yeah.
Up, really? It's
Yeah.
still November, Stephanie.
Okay. I got little kids. I'm like, I put it up the day before Remembrance Day, but didn't decorate it. I said, we're not allowed to decorate it. We got to
Oh,
leave it like that. And it's been like that in the living room ever since. So
so she knows. She's telling you to decorate.
see, so did Tammy. So it's all right.
Yeah.
They all did. It's not just me.
I know. My sister's on this big decorating thing. I've been actually getting Christmas music and stuff recently. And you know what? Synchronicity, cooperative
Mm-hmm.
incidences. This is spirit reminding us that this too shall pass, to focus on where we're going, focus on what's making us happier,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're here with you. So just make sure to keep talking to her, because whatever you need, she'll line it up. And I do think that if you get her some eardrops or something, that she's going to be feeling a lot better very soon.
That'll be good.
Awesome. I'm going to let
Thank
her
you, Tracy.
pull her energy back. Have a great day, Steph.
You too.
Okay. Gina, I got to come to you because I want to be able to breathe. And whoever this is cutting off my breathing so bad. It's so thick. Okay. So you got to take me off mute for a second. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
So you're the lady that signed up for the membership, but wasn't exactly sure how to use it, right?
Yeah, I got it now. I set an alarm, so
Ah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I'm
Okay.
terrible with like remembering. Not really. I remember things from 20 years ago, but anything like now, yeah, I have like terrible memory or keeping track of stuff, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, I'm glad you made it here today. And have I read for you before?
Just once.
Okay. Well, we're going to be starting all over again in a sense where your loved ones, when they step forward, they'll validate who they are for me.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's already here, loud and proud, let me tell you. So let's start with a
Okay.
connecting exercise, though, okay?
Okay. Mhm.
So I want you to put both feet flat on the floor. And
Mhm.
then I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body. And then I want you to blow it directly towards me and give
Okay.
me a minute to focus. Okay. Okay, Gina, I got a couple of people here coming through. This beginning part, I call this the puzzle dump because it's kind of like when you're building a puzzle. You have to dump out all the pieces and organize them to figure out how they fit together. And when we do that connecting exercise, there's a huge wash of information that comes over all of my senses. So in order to understand how all that fits, I'm going to describe everything to you and then we'll go back and figure out how that fits, okay?
Okay.
So there's definitely, I get a gentleman for sure. So here's the first thing. Hold on, let me try this again. You see how my nose and my face is going itchy like crazy. So somebody is stepping forward with some type of disfiguration. And what I mean by that is their body did not look the same when they passed as they did really in the physical world. My face will pick that up. There is some type of anxiety, grief, or a lot of anxiety or grief around somebody's passing, because that anxiety or grief acts as a distortion in the energy, kind of like water will distort sound. And as these people step forward, I can feel that distortion swirling like crazy. And I think this is why there's a female here as well. Somebody passed suddenly, unexpectedly, traumatically before we think of as their time, because there's white lighters all around them. White lighters are beings on the other side that are pure white light. Their job is to help souls heal. So typically I will see them surround somebody who either takes responsibility for their passing, committed suicide, or whose passing was sudden, unexpected, or traumatic in such a way that there's a lot of healing needed for the soul that passed or the people that are left behind. I'm hearing daddy's hands, which is my symbol for father figure, or somebody on dad's side of the family. And I'm aware that they have a dog. There is a dog there as well. Okay, so that's a lot. Is
Yeah.
any of this making sense to you?
No, okay, it makes sense because my dad passed away June of last year, July of last year, and it was a heart attack. So it was suddenly, and
Breath.
like I hadn't seen him in a while, so it was really like
And
it still bothers me.
his mom is also on the other side, because I want you to
Yeah.
know that your grandmother was stepping forward to clear the distortion in the energy field to bring your dad here. And do you
Okay.
understand that your dad would be coming forward with the dog?
No, I mean my dog that like meant the world to me passed away a couple years ago,
And that's why your
and
dad is bringing forward the dog. He didn't have to know the dog, but you have to understand that the people that you love the most and you wanted to see the most are coming forward together. And
no,
your
it
dad
makes
needs
sense.
you to know that he is caring for your dog on the other side. He's making me feel that the dog's kind of like him. He didn't live to be an old man as like he did. Do you
Right
understand
now,
that?
yeah, my because my dog was only like 7. It was a boxer, and yeah, it was like it was also like he got sick, and it just happened so quickly. And I was trying all these natural like home remedies to cure him, and yeah, it was like pretty devastating for me and my son. So
Please know that the dog still protects you in spirit. And I feel like he's scared somebody off at your house. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if somebody almost broke into your house or if you were feeling scared of something coming on around your house. All I know is they're showing me this dog sitting on your step and literally growling at anybody around.
he was the sweetest dog. He came off like, yeah, he was overprotective, or he was very protective of us. But you know, once somebody walked up to pet him, then it was like he was like the night. But he would growl at anyone that came close. So
Okay, they're being very specific though. They're taking me to right now, your dad and the dog, and he's placing the dog on your step like a gargoyle, which tells me that that dog is there in absolute protection of you. So I don't know if that means that you're in danger. I don't think you're in danger. I feel like you feel insecure, you feel vulnerable. Do you understand that?
mhm.
Please know that that dog is not leaving your side, and neither is your dad. He's apologizing. It's funny, your grandma goes, "Quit beating around the bush and get to the point." And I feel like your dad's trying to beat around the bush here. So here's the thing. He's showing me the rose-colored glasses, which is my symbol for seeing things differently on that side than he did when he was here in the physical world. He needs you to know that he's been through the life review many times, which is where they have to view their life through everyone else's eyes. And he gets down on one knee and he says, "Please forgive me." And when I asked him for what for, he said because he was not the dad that you needed him to be. And that there's this feeling of, it's not even that he wasn't the dad that you needed him to be. It's this feeling of, I am the perfect dad and then I pull that away, and then I am the perfect dad and then I pull that away. And it's this feeling of investing all my eggs in that basket and then feeling like it's ripped out from underneath of me and not understanding. Do you
Mhm.
understand that?
Yeah, yeah. His mom raised me, and so he would be there, and then he wouldn't, and
That's
so but and like um he was very protective though. Like anyone that knew me knew him, and like because of that. Like no one, I don't know, like people would just watch over me because of him, I guess you would say. But I know that he
He
loved
still
me.
has, he definitely has that energy. He's showing me that he's in and out, but he's very much in love with you. Like, and your grandmother, just so you know, so is she. She shows me the body scan, which is my symbol for more than one issue in the body or pain throughout the body. And she kind of unzips her body like a wet bathing suit and throws it on the floor. She's like, I'm done with that thing. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. She's brushing her hair. She wants you to know her hair is great on that side. So I
I
don't know if
get
she
it.
started to lose her hair or if it was just really
Hmm.
important to her.
No, she did because she had cancer. So
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. She goes,
it's
don't
okay.
worry, I'm kicking dad's ass all the way on this side. Every day, it's a bunch of ass kicking in a good way. Does she have
Yeah,
an
and
accent? Because I feel my accent coming out when I
I
tune in her
mean,
energy.
no, not really. No, I don't
So
really think so.
there's somebody coming through with a thick French accent.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Interesting. Hold on. Are you in a relationship right now?
Yeah, I'm married for like 20,
Okay.
23 years.
That would be a relationship. Because I feel like you've got some people stepping forward on their side. Now, do
Oh,
you
okay.
have one or two children? Because I see one but two, one but two, one but two.
Yeah, I
Did,
have one son.
did you have two pregnancies though, sweetie?
Yeah. Hmm.
And the child that you lost was before you had your son?
Yes.
Do you know that that son is the same child that the first pregnancy that you had? He came back again. You and
Wow.
him are soulmates. Do you know
Yeah, me and
that,
my,
don't you?
yeah, I'm like, there's like this unbreakable bond there. Like,
You guys have spent
yeah,
lifetimes together. Your grandma just whispered in my ear, he came to save your life.
I tell him that all the time.
Oh,
If it wasn't for, I was like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Like, I've said that. Like, he's 19 now, and I mean, still, we're most kids, like leave the nest, but no, we're still like that. And so, yeah, I told him like, Hunter, if it wasn't for you, like, I know I wouldn't be here. I'm like, so
so your
that's
grandma's there
crazy.
with you. Please know that when you're there interacting with your son and as you're living your everyday life, they hear you. They know everything that's going on in your world and they hear
Yeah,
everything.
I try to because I can sense things and like her, like I've since the day she passed away, I got a phone call from her. I think I told you this, but I got a phone call from her number that was disconnected the day that she passed away. And I looked at the caller
Hmm.
ID and it was this little caller ID boxes and I answered and it was just static. And so I knew that was her trying to let me know that she was okay because I was ready to like not be here anymore. And so like I've gotten so many signs from her, and that's the thing with my dad. I've not gotten it. So it was like, did he make it there? Or is he still wondering here?
That's why
So
she brought him forward. Okay, so let me tell you what that is. So that actually explains to me why she was stepping forward and why they made that anxiety and grief so thick in the beginning.
mhm,
Because what you have to understand is that your grief and anxiety is what makes you feel like your dad is not here, but he is
mhm,
here. But it's that when you're thinking of him, you're thinking of him in grief and anxiety, so you can't hear him. When you
mhm.
took that call from your grandma, you knew instantly that she was free from pain, that she was in a better place. When
And I
you
was
think of
expected, sorry.
your dad passing, it felt like a tragedy. It felt like anxiety. It felt like a horror. Do you understand? So
Oh
that
yeah,
you couldn't feel his presence because you were focused on that energy.
right.
So this is why your grandma's cutting through all of that anxiety and grief and bringing him forward. He said, "Who do you think keeps throwing the money at you?" So have you been finding dimes and nickels and things like this?
Um, not really that, but there's been a couple times when I'm like one time I remember specifically, I was like, I needed some money, and I'm like, man, I'm like, I forget what it was for, and it wasn't like a lot of money, and I was like, so I started looking through coat pockets, and I found like maybe 20 some dollars, but like I said, I wasn't needing a lot of money. I just needed like money probably to go get cigarettes, which I hate to even admit right now, but I'm just saying, like, so I started looking through my coat pockets for some reason, and all of a sudden there was money there. So, and
So
I thought
now
that I was like,
take that to a bigger, grander scale. Because your dad, when you said that, he goes, "Well, I owe ya, so I'm gonna make sure that you get all the support that you need that I couldn't
mhm,
give you in the physical world. But your job is to tell him what you need. So, like that
yeah,
day, you said, "I need $20 to go get smokes." They said,
yeah.
"Done." So from now
And
on,
I said it was, yeah, I thought it was him. That's the crazy thing. I told my son, I was like, I have this feeling that my dad, and I literally like thought that right when it happened. So it's crazy because that's the first thing I thought.
is your
So yeah.
dad and your son's birthdays close together? When you said my son, your dad did this, which is either
Um,
birthdays or events. Something's very close together with your son. So I don't know
Not
if
really. My son kind of like reminds me of him,
that's
um,
this. That's different.
but my dad, yeah, my dad's birthday is in February, and my son's is in May.
So no, this would mean, so did your dad's pass around the time of your son's birthday?
No, well, no, a few months after.
Around his birthday? All I
No,
know
because
is
his birthday.
that's so
Yeah, I
weird.
don't know.
Because he's taking me to your son. He's showing me two dates. Boom, boom. And the dead are very specific. It's hard for me to give you exactly what they're talking about because
Yeah,
I'm not in your life.
right.
But what I can tell you is he's going boom, boom. He's showing me your son. He's making me feel like he was there for that. And it was right after he passed. Something to do with your son right after he passed. Or right before, because he's showing me the event. Did your son graduate right after he passed or something? There's some life thing that
I
happened right
can't.
after he passed.
I can't think of anything. No. I mean, maybe like it'll come to me, but right off the top of my head, I
Is
can't
he
think of anything.
driving? Your dad just put him behind the wheel.
No, but he has a car. He just needs to get his license, but he's like, for some reason, which most kids his age are like they're ready. He's scared, and I don't know why, because I'm like, I don't know if it's something in a past life, but he's in no hurry. And so I literally drive him to and from work and everything when he has a car. Like he has a car.
Just so
So
you know, that's why he's not in any hurry.
mhm.
I had my, I, you
Believe me,
understand
I
that,
already
right?
know.
I have
Oh
four
yeah.
kids and three are teenagers, and trust me, I know it's a delicate balance, right? You don't want them to
Yeah.
suffer on the bus, but at the same time, if you don't let them suffer on the bus, they will not be inspired to go and get it.
Yeah,
I
I know.
think it
I
has
think
something to do with that, or maybe that car was given to him around the time that dad passed, or something like this. But
yeah.
all I know is your dad is going boom, boom, and he's
Mhm.
kind of amused by this, so it's gonna come to you. Hopefully,
Uh-huh.
actually, I said this to Stephanie's here once when I was talking to her. I'm like, her dad was coming through, going, yes, October or November, not her dad, somebody in her family, going at the end of
Mhm.
October, beginning of November, birthday, October, November, somewhere in there. And then at the end of the broadcast, when she couldn't remember during the thing, she comes back on. She's like, yeah, it was his birthday, November 1st. So she found out.
Yeah.
All I know is he's
Yeah.
being very specific and he's saying, your son, he was there and he participated in this event. It feels important. So if he didn't just start driving, it's like one of those graduation events in their
Yeah.
life. So so he was like 17, 16, 17 when your dad passed?
See, he's 19. Yeah, he was 18. So I mean, that was the year that he turned 18, a few months, after is when my dad passed after Hunter turned 18. But
That's okay. I'm gonna let him pull his. He's still laughing at me, and I'm like, "You're not helping here." He's like, "That's okay," because you're gonna go
mhm.
back and watch this after I post it again, which I will. I'm sorry, you guys, I haven't gotten the last postings up the last couple of weeks. I will. But he's very specific. He's like, "This I passed. This happened shortly after, and I was there."
Okay.
Does your son have a tattoo by any chance? Because he said, thank somebody for the tattoo. And
I
again,
do.
you do? Oh,
Yeah. It's like Roman numerals for the year he was born and then the year he passed with a cross. I don't know, like it'll probably be upside down, but I guess it's gonna be upside down. But that's what it is. It's like Roman numerals for his birth year, his passing year, and then a cross. So yeah.
he's like, I'm trying to tell him to calm down because he's like, I thought we got a whole hour. And I'm like, no, relax. You're gonna get a few minutes every month. And I'm still hearing that French accent or this accent of some sort. So I feel like your in-laws are trying to come through as well. You have family on your husband's side that has some kind of accent. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
It feels like grandparents that he hasn't seen in
Yeah,
some time because they're
right.
taking me distance or space.
hmm Sorry, there's somebody. I'm gonna walk into the garage. Oops, sorry. The garage. There's somebody at our door. But yeah, no, both of his grandparents on his mom's side, they both passed it. We actually live in the condo. He ended up buying it, like his grandma. It was his grandma's condo, and he ended up purchasing it after she passed. So she was like the
Well, that
nicest
would be
lady.
why that would be why I can't
Yeah,
pull my energy back without acknowledging her first. If you're living in her
yeah,
condo, that's why she's like, I don't care
yeah.
if we're
Oh
related
yeah.
or not. You tell her I'm here.
I bet. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was such a sweet woman. She really
And
was.
she's
Like,
saying, let your husband know that they've reconnected with a huge amount of their family on the other side. It feels like they had family they had not seen in
yeah,
a very
her
long time.
husband. Yeah, her husband and her. Yeah, they were together for years, and he probably passed away a good because me and him were together when they were still well when he was still alive, and but still, I think he had been passed for a good like 12 years or something before she passed. So, but they have a bond, and definitely you like I figured like on the other side, like yeah, they definitely connected quickly, but okay, but yeah, I'll let him
So please let him know that they're
know. Mhm.
together on the other side. And your dad's like, you know what? I think he was a little unprepared for today in a sense. He has so much he wants to say. And
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
I'll try to communicate definitely. Like now that I
let him
know,
know what you need. Yeah.
yeah, and thank you because I'm like last time when we talked, it had maybe been like 6 months after he passed, and that's who I was hoping would come through. But of course, like he didn't yet, and so like this makes me really happy because like I always like you hear people that don't leave here, like they don't go to the light or however you put it. They're still kind of wondering because they're lost. And so I was hoping he wasn't just like wandering around, not, and so it makes me so good to know that. And I figured like if anyone was there, it would be my grandma, like like help him and guide him over there. Like like they also have like
And a good bond.
unbreakable bond. Yeah.
They
So
come forward together. Please know
yeah.
they're together.
Thank
And
you
they
so
said, we
much.
will talk again soon. Just know you
Yeah.
can come
Thank
on
you.
here whenever you want. You can come on and watch. And
Oh yeah, for sure I will. Like I said, I have an alarm set, so there'll be no missing. Thank you, Tracy.
you're welcome. Take care.
Bye. Thanks.
Okay, Sheila, I'm coming to you, and then Beta, I'm coming to you, and Amanda, I love you that you're here watching. I know that you come here often, so if it's okay with you, I'm going to get to these other ladies who don't get on here very often. Sheila, how you
Hi,
doing?
Tracy. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Your energy's a little interesting today. Interesting.
Ah,
Okay. See, for me, that's like challenge. It's like, what is this? It's kind of like when you walk in a room and there's a new smell. You're like, what is that? I'm trying to put my finger on it. That sounds bad. I'm smelling you. Spiritually sniffing you. Oh boy, welcome to the weird hour. Okay, are you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Okay, both feet flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and then when I'm done talking, I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me and give me a minute to focus. Okay. I know I should remember who your loved ones are, Sheila, but I don't. So I'm sorry. We're kind of starting all over again in a sense. Some of this might start sounding familiar as we go, but I got a lady that steps forward right away and goes to the head and shows me some type of communication issue before she passed, either stroke, aneurysm, Alzheimer's, dementia, some type of communication issue. I don't think that she was baking in that communication issue for too long. It just feels like at the very end of my life. But definitely she's going one above you. So I'm thinking that that's grandparents. I'm not thinking this is mom. Your mom's still here in the physical world, correct?
Right.
I think this is on mom's side though. Your mom's mom on the other side. Did
Yes.
she have the confusion at the end of her life or inability to communicate?
Alzheimer's. Yeah.
There we go. And your grandfather is also on the other side as well because she just brought him forward and they're holding hands. She's like, "We are together. Absolutely, we are together." She's validating that they were there on Thanksgiving. I mean, we're in Canada, so if anybody's watching, we already had ours, but she's taking me back to Thanksgiving and she's like, "You let her know we were there." Did you do
Okay.
like a big shindig or something? You had a big dinner?
Yes, we cooked a turkey dinner and drove it to our hometown that you know, and took it to my mom and dad. So we had Thanksgiving dinner with my mom and dad. Yeah.
Oh, that's why they're bringing it up because, and as you were saying that you cooked it and you brought it there, I felt enormous gratitude from them to just, thank you for that because you took so much pressure off of mom's shoulders. I feel like and it's because you didn't want to make a big mess there and stuff like that, right? And she's showing me that the stress of not having to cook. It's weird. The way grandma's showing me this is the way that you went about it was kind of like convincing mom that this is the best way to do it, even though I feel like she wants you to do it there or something. And it's almost like a guilt feeling on your mom's part. Like, no, 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 do it here. And you're like, no, Matt, no, we're doing it this way. No mess. It's so much easier for them. She's just so thankful. Um, they did put the white blanket around mom's shoulders though, and I'm feeling some mobility issues or some pain. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Just know that they're with you during this. She's like, ask her for what you need. I know I can hear the questions, or I can feel the questions, I should say. It's like, how do I help? How do I help? What do I do? How do I help? What do I do? Slow this down. Has your mom been really cold? What is this? She's giving her a whole bunch of blankets. She's putting a whole bunch of blankets on your mom.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what she's meaning by this. Your grandma didn't leave you a bunch of blankets, did she?
No, my husband's grandma left us blankets, but not my grandma.
It's interesting. So I think your husband's grandma's coming through here. Now, when you say your husband's grandma, she seems definitely a different feel from your husband's grandma than your grandma. Your grandma feels very nurturing, very homebody, very all of this. Your husband's grandma, yes, the same, but more of Spitfire. Do you know what I mean? More of a like, I'll tell you what it is. Do you know what I mean? That
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
energy.
Totally. Yeah.
Whereas your grandma feels like she would not tell you the truth. It might hurt someone's feelings. She'll just say she wants to be nice all the time. Do you know what I mean? This
Yes.
lady's like, oh, whatever. I'll tell you. I'll tell you, no problem.
Yes.
Um, and your husband's dad is still here?
Yes.
Would this be his dad's mom?
No, his mom's mom.
because they're putting the white blanket. It's interesting. So they, just like they put the white blanket on your mom's shoulders, they're putting the white blanket on his dad's shoulders.
Okay.
But see, the way they make me feel is that it's his ego that's bruised. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he can't work as much, or and that's frustrating for him, or what that means.
He's retired.
Oh.
He's
This
been
is a
retired a long time though. He's almost 80. So
Oh, okay. No, that can't be it then. So what does this mean? Ah. And your dad's mom is, or sorry, your husband's mom is still here as well, correct?
no, she's on the other side.
Okay, so this is why I'm messing it up. So this is not only his grandma coming through, it's his mother as well.
Yeah.
She's thanking you guys, and I see him doing a move or being moved. And I go back like a year or two, maybe, and I get a lot of gratitude for this. Did you guys do, what did you do for him? You moved him, or you changed his surroundings around in some way, or something like this?
He when COVID started, he was in the US, and when he came back, he needed to quarantine for 2 weeks and had no place to go. So we put him up in our condo in Canmore for 2 weeks. So he had a luxurious quarantine.
Aw, thank you. That's all I can hear is thank you, thank you, thank you. Your husband's mom is saying, please know that they're watching and that they know that you guys did that. I don't want to say that. Okay, so let me just say this. I'm going to say that So has he been having some speech issues recently? There's something about speaking or getting it out. I don't know what she's saying. So I don't know if he's not speaking about things that he needs, or he's been having some speech issues recently.
I don't know. We just saw him on the weekend. We spent the weekend with him and he was fine. So I don't know what that is.
She just makes my throat feel like something's restricted. And then there's a feeling of like needing something but not speaking about it, or wanting something but not speaking about it. And what's interesting is, so you know how I've told you before that when you validate something, they'll give me the next piece of information. So when
Mhm.
you said we were just there this weekend, she said exactly. I felt exactly, bing. And I'm like, what do you mean exactly? How does that have to do with not speaking? And she said, because he would never have asked you to do that. He would never ask. Do you understand? But you know that he needs this connection. So I think you went there knowing without even him asking.
Well, we went to a soccer tournament where he lives, and
Yeah.
normally he might not show up to the soccer game. Like we think we invite him and we think, well, maybe he'll come. And he came to every single game every day for 4 days. He didn't miss
He
a
was
game,
lonely.
which was unusual for him. He's usually sort of too busy to do that.
This is what I love about the dead, is that they say things in such a way that you can't mistake what they're talking about. She's again saying thank you so much, because it was choked up here. He couldn't get the words out to say, I need my family, I need help, I need people around me. And you guys saw that, and you embraced him anyway. Just know that that means a lot to him and to them, more than what he can express. And that's what I think they mean about the ego. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But not in a bad way, just in a male way. Aw. She's I go back to she. I'm going to your grandma again. Just feels, remember I said that there's a weird energy around you? And I'm trying to put my finger on it. There feels like a slight confusion almost. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Um I can feel the confusion going on around you. And I know that there's a lot of things I can imagine. She's telling me that she's not going to be specific about what it is. She's going to say it in a way that you will understand, but other people might not. So it's personal, obviously. So she said, listen, even if you don't have the answer, sometimes we can get bogged down on the problem, right? When we're confused about something, we can look at something and be like, for example, I get confused by technology all the frickin' time. Let's just use technology as an example, okay? And the more confused I get, the more frustrated I get from what I'm trying to do, the worse it gets. But if I can breathe for a minute and then go, okay, God, I don't understand why this is messing up. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. I would like this to be the result and the outcome. So help me get there. Show me what I need to know to get me to that place. And when you take your focus off of the problem and you start asking for the solution in that way, it will show up. And you need to start praying and asking for some discernment and some clarity instead of focusing on, and it's not even focusing. I don't even think you're focusing on the confusion, but it feels like it's a program that's running back here in the background and you're trying to ignore it. But what I want you to know is that's going to sweep in and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you bring in clarity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if she's talking about me or about my mom, because I don't feel like I'm confused about anything.
I'm not saying dementia confused.
No,
Not dementia confused.
but even in my life, I'm not quite getting that.
Okay. Yeah, see, it's just in the background. It's interesting when you say you don't quite get that. Makes perfect sense to me because that's how it feels to me. It feels like you're cognitive up here, but like there's this little sliver in the background where it's like things just aren't making sense. Something's just not making sense. I'm just not understanding something. And now when you say around mom's health, that feels part of it. But around her health, just so you know, it feels like night and day. So was she perfectly fine and healthy like 6 months ago, a year ago, and then boom?
No, she's actually been quite unwell for a couple of years, and I think she's doing better than she was. But she still has a lot of health issues, but mobility wise, she's better. She had a knee replacement in April, so she's doing better mobility wise.
So what is this confusion?
Stephanie says she feels this as well. I just saw the comment pop up.
Yes. It's hard to like really put a foot on it because it's one of those things that are in the background and not in your conscious mind, but it's affecting you. So let me just ask her in a different way. So when I ask her, what does this have to do with? I see relationships. I see family. So that's why your mom, yes, kind of fits in that. But it's like, it's maybe confusion around my friends and family. The only way I can describe it is, see, it's going through my own personal filter. Okay. So this is again, my own personal filter to try to explain what I'm feeling. It's like how when this whole COVID thing started to take place and we started seeing people emerge on different sides of the fence. Do you know what I mean? There was this confusion feeling in the background where we want to hang around with our family and the people that we love and stuff, but we're all a little confused on how this works. And it's not like we're taking that confusion into our everyday lives, but there's this new confusion in old events like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, like getting together. Like, does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I know, and she's like, yeah, I get you what you're trying to say, but I don't know how to apply it to my life. It just feels relationship wise like there is people around you that are not acting quite the same as they used to, where there's a feeling of having to try to make normal or make things work in a world where everything is a little bit, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. I have a friend staying with me right now, my best friend, who just had to quarantine at our house. But I don't feel like I'm confused about it. It's very straightforward. We just did what we have to do. I'm not confused or scared by it. We just did what we had to do. So I don't know if that's it.
Interesting. Well, I do know this. Uh, I do know this. Your grandma literally said into my ear, just sage the house, okay? Because here's what I do know is that you have normally extremely bright, really great energy, and that's your prevalent main energy.
Mhm.
But there's always all kinds of energies floating all around us, right? And it could be the confusion around your friend's situation. Not that you're confused, but the confusion or the chaos, maybe is a better word. Do you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying around chaos and confusion? If I'm trying to find or smell that feeling, feelings are tricky, man. Feelings are tricky. So
Mhm.
chaos can feel a little bit like confusion, and it can feel like it's in the background if it's not coming from you specifically, but you have your friend staying there.
Mhm.
And like I said, it feels like in relationships. So that would make total sense to me that I can just feel it working in the background. So the thing is, though, that what I want you to understand is that if that friend, like you stepped up to help this person, right? Which is amazing, but make sure that that help doesn't that they don't, it's like if you bring rotten fruit, not that your friend's rotten, let me finish the analogy, but it's like if you bring rotten fruit in with good fruit, it will taint that good fruit like that, right? So if she has some chaotic energy around her, even if
Mhm.
it's not coming from her, but it's just around her, then that can seep into you and around into your energy. And I think this is why your grandma's taking great pains to make sure that I spend the time to explain this, because they're on your team and they know what you need. And you need to make sure that your environment is extraordinarily clear for you, for your friend, for everyone around you, and then everyone can go back to normal. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. She's been my best friend for most of my life, and she's so appreciative and so, our she's so wonderful to have around. It's actually like, not that I'm happy that she had
That
to go
she's
into
here,
quarantine,
but yeah.
but take advantage of it. Um, but yeah, like she definitely has a lot of chaos around her.
That's what
Just
I'm
being,
telling.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
just with
feel it.
everything going on with it. Yeah, yeah.
So what you need to do is just sage your environment, and it keeps it very cleansed. Do you know what I mean? So that won't seep into you.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love that we worked through that to figure out what that was, because as a medium, it's tricky sometimes to understand those energies. Like when you come forward, it's like it's not coming from you, but I can feel it in the background. I
Yeah.
feel that it's affecting you, and your grandma wants you to know so you can prevent it. But how do you
Yeah.
get to that without understanding what's in your life? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny because I was going to call in last week, but then I actually thought, no, I need to wait because I don't want what's going on in our house to um, kind of influence my message with you. Like I didn't know if you'd be picking up on stuff going on with her. I actually thought of that, so I postponed it. And I'm taking
Isn't
her
that funny?
home today. Like today's her last day here in our house. So yeah.
Aw, so that's your grandma's validating for you that once she leaves, just cleanse your energy. And
Yeah.
that is the message that you needed. Because, and you're right, the timing is important. Because if you didn't get that message to cleanse that energy, you might not cleanse that energy. And energy is contagious. So if it's
Hmm.
sitting in your home, then it will just grow.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
cleanse that energy out and just know that they're there with you. They're watching over everybody on both sides of the family. Um,
I have to admit something. So no, normally when I call you, you immediately know my grandma.
yeah,
Um, and so I've been sharing a lot with my mom and dad lately about these messages, and my mom finally believes it. And so I said to my grandparents, can you give me a message that for my mom so that she won't, so I think that's why my grandma started right from the beginning with the
talking
Alzheimer's
about
and everything,
mom and
and the
completely.
Thanksgiving, and like it was very specific so I could show that to my mom. So,
Wow.
yeah. So any
And
other
not just
messages?
that. But yes, but not just that. That I'm glad you told me that, because that is her message for your mom, is that even the way that we understood these messages here, because a lot of people don't understand what psychic means. A lot of people don't understand what having intuition feels like. And
Mhm.
because they don't understand it right off the hop, because I didn't look at you and go, "Oh, okay, your friend's staying with you and she's causing all kinds of chaos," and because I can't just put it out like that, they think that this is not useful information. It's they don't understand, right? That
Mhm.
that's not how it feels. It feels like how I'm explaining it to you, where when you're around somebody, you can kind of smell that energy in the background, because that's how spirit communicates, right? So your
Mhm.
grandma, this tells me that your grandma has been communicating with your mom, that she needs her to know that she's there with her, and your mom's not understanding her all the time because she's used to her in the physical, but your
Mhm.
grandma's not in the physical anymore, so she has to communicate through an emotion, through a thought, through a smell that comes out of nowhere, through that kind of stuff, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so that is the message for your mom, to not underplay the um energies that are coming her way, as well as she said, and again, the blanket, remember how she goes, "Well, I gave your mom a message that you don't understand." Then that's one of the things that the dead do, is they will bring up messages. If you say, "I need a message for so and so," don't expect to understand the message, because it's not for you. It's a message for your mom to know that she
Mhm.
didn't tell you that, so how would you know? So if you bring her a message and say, "Grandma says she's covering you up with blankets because you're cold," then and
Yeah.
your mom didn't tell you that, then she's going to know that her mom is with her.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm. And then there's something about a birthday, because she just handed you the rose as she's pulling her energy back. So birthday, anniversary, or something that happens once a year. And I feel gratitude. Is grandma's birthday around December, January, somewhere in there?
Um, yes, January 3rd. It is my grandma's birthday.
That's what I thought. Because she's showing me the birthday and gratitude. She's saying, "Thank you for remembering my birthday." And then she was taking me to the end of the year, and I'm like, "Well, when is your birthday?" And I felt December, January, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
So,
every year, she's been gone like 35 years. And every year on her birthday, my mom and I text each other and say, "Happy birthday to grandma." And my mom always says, "Oh, you remembered." And like, of course I remembered. She's my grandma.
so
So we
grandma
have that
knows you did that.
conversation every single year. Yeah.
So that's why she said the way she said it. "Thank you. I feel gratitude around a birthday." And then she
Yeah.
showed me January. So she knows that you guys do that. So
Yeah.
tell your mom to keep talking to her. And you're right. Usually I just go right into her, don't I? Like,
Yeah.
that's weird the way she did it today. But this is what I love about spirit. Every single thing they do happens exactly the right way, exactly the right moment, in order to
Yeah.
get you the message you need.
So my mom has had some guilt about my grandma's death for 35 years. Does she have any messages about that?
Well, she says that your mom, she showed me, I'll tell you what she showed me when you said that. She took me back to a painful place in my life, where my grandma was living here when she was in her 90s, and I was supposed to be taking care of her. She was in a old age home, and I did the best I could. She needed grocery shopping and pharmacies and stuff like this, but I had my own family at the same time, and my son was under an enormous amount of medical stuff at the time, and he had been sexually abused, and so I had all of this other stuff going on, and I was supposed to be caring for her at the same time, and it was like I was split in two. And your grandma took me back to that time, and she said, "You got to tell her that she could only do what she could do. She can't be in two places at the same time. She can't be here and take care of me when she has this young family to take care of as well." And she said that please know that she had peace when she got to the other side, looking down, knowing that your mom put her obligation and her focus where it needed to be. And the only thing that would have made her passing worse is if she got to that side and was able to look down and see all of time and see that your mom sacrificed her living family for her mom who was going to the other side anyway. She said, please know that I know that you did what you needed to do. And I can feel your mom's heart breaking. She wanted to be there. She wanted to do more. She wanted to do everything she possibly could, but she had other things she had to do that was extraordinarily important. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, from my memory, I was a teenager and I felt like my mom did so much for my grandma. She was always there at the nursing home. But I think my mom's just like that, like the guilt, like I should have been there every day, every minute. And she couldn't.
Yeah.
She had her family. Yeah.
I know that's exactly how she took me. Like, I saw my grandma in the nursing home. I saw my life going on. I saw me trying to juggle between both things. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I know that your mom did a lot. Like, I know that she was there a lot because I know I was, but that didn't stop me from feeling guilty that I couldn't be there every day. If I missed a day, I beat myself up about it, right? So tell your mom no. She gave her mom a lot of peace when she got to the other side and was able to look down and know that your mom was taking care of what she needed to take care of. And I think because your grandma was in that state of Alzheimer's or dementia, she couldn't express that she understood, and her gratitude, all that came out, she's showing me, is like frustration sometimes. So your mom wasn't able to receive the confirmation, the validation that she was being supportive. But that's not because your grandma didn't want to give her that validation. That's just because her brain didn't work the way that she wanted it to work.
Yeah, that
She
makes
loves
sense.
your mom very much. She's she blew the dust off of the oven. Has your mom been baking more?
She started to again, I think, now that she's a little more mobile. So going back to Thanksgiving, I insisted on bringing the entire turkey dinner, and we also made homemade pumpkin pies. But my mom said that she made pumpkin pies. So and I said, no, I made them. She goes, no, and like she needed to do something. So she made homemade pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving.
Let her do those things because you only have so much time left where she can do those things. I would give you every dollar in my bank account for one piece of my grandmother's pie. So eat it up. And sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional. She's like, just thank you so much for everything that you're doing, and just know that she's there with you. She's helping your mom with that baking and stuff, and you can let your mom know that while she is cooking and baking, that her mom's soul is right there with her. Oh, they love you so much. I hope that was helpful.
It was. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're welcome. All right, Beta, my friend, how are you? Oh, you're still on mute. Your camera's on, but your mute is off. How are
Oh, sorry. I'm doing good.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
How are you?
I'm good. Are you still in my hometown?
Yes,
That's
I am.
that's awesome. You know, I was just there this summer and I wasn't in town very long, so I couldn't call anyone and let you guys know I was there or anything, but I actually went into the church there,
Oh.
my grandfather's church, where you sent me the pictures of the shrine out front. And what's
Mhm.
interesting is it still smells exactly the same as it did 40 years ago. There's no
Oh,
change.
really?
It's really cool. So now
That's
I see your
amazing.
face and it makes me feel like home. Just saying.
Well, I'm glad.
Okay, let's do this. Your grandma, I know this is your grandma. She's a little one and she's strong. And she goes, well, she didn't come here to talk to you. She came here to talk to me. Like, okay. Both feet flat on the ground.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. And then I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me and give me a minute to focus. Interesting. Okay, so Beta, your grandmother steps forward. She's not really interested in validating how she passes. I know she's come forward before. She's little, she's strong, she wants to get right into what we're dealing with now. She said, "Don't waste time talking about how I died." She goes, "Get right into what I want you to talk about." I'm like, okay. So she's definitely got this force or do you understand that personality that
Yeah, that's
oh,
who,
sorry, you cut
her,
out for a minute there.
okay. Her sister, who was much littler than her, who was more outspoken, passed
Okay.
away recently, but my grandmother was taller. She wasn't so
Okay.
outspoken.
So then
So
this is the smaller one with the very loud. This is what I say to people all the time. I'm glad you told me that because I might misinterpret who they are by if I say grandma or anything like that, but you will know who they are based on the information that they bring forward. So this is your aunt that's small and not mouthy, but very like not forceful either. What's the word I'm trying to say? Strong, maybe? Do you
yeah,
understand that?
yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go to her first. Okay. So that actually makes a lot more sense. When I go to her, she starts to validate, but I do still get your grandmother with her because I can feel grandma's energy very, very, very strong. So strong that I didn't know there was two people here. I get something about a birthday or an anniversary. So somebody's birthday or anniversary just passed or is coming up. They're also showing me, slow this down. You know what I got as soon as we did this connection exercise, they took me full force going forward. They're like, snap, 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 talk about what's going on right now. They're showing me 3 women. So I don't know if this is you. Do you have 2 sisters or if this is you and mom and sister? I'm not sure what this is.
Yeah, my mom, my sister, and me.
And you guys all live in the same house, I think. And then there's something about moving forward and starting this business. And they need you to know that they're doing this together. Where I don't know if you have your own business, you're doing a business, a home business, something like this. Because I'm seeing business energy going right towards you. And they're making me feel like you just need to ask for what you need. Just ask for what you need. They'll bring it, they'll line it up. And I feel like there's an energy of trying to hold things back. It's way too busy. It's so busy. I can't keep up. This energy of everything just flowing in. And something about a pot that needs to be replanted. You can't get it to where it needs to go here. It's too small of a pot. We have to replant it. But I don't think they're talking about a plant. I think they're talking about a business. Do you have your own business, hun?
I'm a mortgage agent. I work for a brokerage, but I'm independent.
Interesting. Oh boy, are you about to be?
And I've been having a hard time getting clients, and I don't know why.
That's why. Because you're saying that you had a hard time getting clients. Actually, that's exactly why they're bringing forward everything that they just said. We're going to go through this.
It's not so much getting the clients, it's so much of closing. Everything falls apart last minute. And it's very, very mind-boggling because I feel like I'm getting the hardest, the most difficult deals out there.
But I want you to understand that you're doing this to yourself and how to change this, okay? Because there's an energy that you're bringing forward to this that is okay. How do I explain this? You've heard me say before that life is like YouTube, right? What you put into your screen or you plug into your YouTube search bar is what you will see on your screen, what life will reflect back to you, right? How many times have you spoke out loud about the fact that the deal falls through at the last minute? The first time the deal fell through, did you upset you a lot? You felt really bad about it. You spoke about it. You told people about it. Now you're thinking about it and speaking about it. Now that just means you get more of it. You have to find a way to change the way you're thinking about this. And you have to tell yourself that the next deal's going through. Write a big story about the perfect sale, write it down like you're writing a story. Literally, I showed this person a mansion today and it's like a $3.5 million house and they bought it on the spot. I couldn't believe it. My cut is this much. I'm going to Hawaii, blah, 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 whatever. Write the story, and then go around telling everybody that from now on, all your deals are going to close. And from now on, you're going to line up with the deals that are going to make the most money, and you're going to close faster than anyone else. You have to learn to start telling a new story, because your thoughts and your words are the beginning of the manifestation. You can't manifest here what you are not creating here. So if you create, you've heard me say vibrational creation before physical manifestation, right? Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
So if you have an event like that happens to you, I want to take you through to the first house that didn't sell. Okay, believe it or not, this experience
That's mortgages. I do mortgages.
or
I'm
mortgages.
not a realtor.
Okay, see this, that shows you how much I understand this world, right? So let's just use the word close instead. So the first one that you didn't close, that upset you. You thought about it, you spoke about it, you felt about it, and it went out in the world and it gave you more. So in the future, when this situation happens and you don't close the deal, you're going to think about it differently. Instead of perceiving that as this happening to you and feeling frustrated and upset about that, I want you to think about it and say to yourself, that's okay. There's a better one coming. I didn't want that one anyway. There's a better one coming. And it's whatever you got to say to yourself to see it differently, right? Do you remember me telling you guys, you've been a member for a while, so you might remember this, but when I was learning vibrational creation equals physical manifestation, it was just around the time that I had paid off some of my debt, and the credit card company had sent me a check for $2.79 because I had overpaid them by $2.79. And so when they sent me this check, I took a Sharpie and I turned the decimal point into a comma, added some zeros, made it a $2,790,000 check, changed the date to make it a couple of years ahead. So I put it 2020, and then I hung it on my wall and I left it there for the rest of the next couple of years. Well, August 20th came and went. That money didn't appear. But then I moved into this house in February of this year. And because of all the shutdowns and everything, and they shut down all my groups and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm a legal business, I qualified for one of those business loans, right? The government was given out. But even though I qualified, I was still being sabotaged by somebody who was supposed to be working with me to do my accounting and stuff, who actually secretly disagreed with my work. So she proceeded to sabotage me every chance she could for 10 freaking months, to the point that, long story short, by the time I woke up to this, got aware of that, and hired somebody new and was able to receive that money, guess what the date was? August 20th, 2021. The date on that check was August 20th, 2020. So the point of this story is that sometimes when we ask for something, just because we don't receive it at that exact moment doesn't mean that it's not coming. It just means we're not ready for it yet. Do you see my center? I'm in my center today. If they had have given me that money last year, I wouldn't have had it for my center. It would have been way too early. I wasn't ready to be ready for that money. So if you
Congratulations.
Thank you. But this is what I want you to understand is happening to you right now. These deals are not closing because this is in your benefit, believe it or not. I want you to go to bed tonight and I want you to thank God that he didn't close those deals. Because if he had to close those deals with you doing things backwards, you would never learn how to do them to help yourself move forward. You have to learn how to drive your own car. And this is about teaching you how to drive your own car to where you want to go, instead of feeling like the passenger in somebody else's car who's driving you in the ditch every day. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I've been actually thinking that I'm supposed to be learning something
this
from all of
is,
this.
yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So what you're supposed to be learning is gratitude, even though you haven't got what you want yet, is understanding and seeing that from the perspective of that's okay, because God is still going to bring me what I've asked for. It's just going to be when I'm ready and not until then. So if you're asking for something and you're not receiving it yet, then the trick is to say, okay, God, this is what I want, but I'm not getting it yet. So what do I need to learn, or what do I need to accomplish in order to get me closer to that goal? I need some clarity. And when you ask for that, boom, 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 it just falls into place. In fact, when I say that, the two ladies here, just so you know, they're reunited. They need you to know that. But the two ladies here let me know that you asked that and they made you think of me, because you haven't been here for a couple of months. So it's like you ask, what do I need? And then they're like, well, go see that crazy blonde girl and we can help talk to you and help you understand what this lesson is. Because here's the thing. On the other side of this lesson, when you start to learn how to drive your own car and you start to visualize your success and you start to visualize yourself closing deal after deal after deal, and you start telling people I want you to start telling people you are going to be the biggest closer ever of everybody ever. You're going to be the one that is like the best in the world. Tell everyone this. Talk about it. Write it down. Study whatever you have to do to study, to learn more information, etc., and God will do the rest for you. I promise you. It will be like the car is driving itself. Your job is to keep yourself into the frequency of gratitude and joy. And the second that you perceive a situation as happening to you and feeling punished by that situation, that's how you know that you got to change the way you're perceiving it, or it's just going to ripple throughout your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you go to bed tonight, visualize all of these pauses as the best thing that ever happened to you. Thank God for giving you these pauses so that you have time to catch up. It's kind of like when I got that money, I bawled like a baby for 3 hours, let me tell you. And then I sat there, I'm not just bawling in gratitude, but apologizing my butt off because, August 20th, I was like, well, there goes that check. Thanks a lot, God. I thought this manifestation stuff worked, right? Like I got all mad. I had little mad tendencies here and there too. But then when that money came in and it hit me, it's like, you know what? It came in when it needed to come in so that I could do with it what God wanted me to do with it, not what I wanted to do with it. And that brings me to the final point. What you are doing right now is you are being the builder for what God is actually creating. Do you understand that? So God has the idea, God has the creation, God has the energy and the people that are on his team. And now you're tuned in, tapped into that, right? So you are now his chess piece that he can move where he needs you to move when he needs you to move in that sense. So the second that you're understanding how to drive your own car where he needs you to go, he's going to utilize you a lot more, and success is going to start piling in quicker than you can even keep up with. I'm feeling like you're going to have to hire mom and sister or something like this. Like they could be working for you. I really do feel like you're working for yourself, if not yet, very soon. But you're
Okay.
going to need them as help. So please let your mom know that. Is this her sister that's on the other side?
No. Well, my parents were married. They were first cousins, unfortunately. But so my mom's aunt is also my dad's aunt, so they're close, right?
Okay, because they just show me to the side, to the side, to the side, which is like sister, sibling, friend, something like that. But
Yeah.
they're absolutely together. And do you understand the red hair? Would somebody have red hair?
Mm, no.
I feel like I'm seeing short red hair, and I don't think it's on somebody on the other side. It feels like they're talking about somebody here, but it's like short red or auburn hair. Clearly not yours. It's in a braid.
Mm, no, I don't know anyone with red hair.
Your aunt just kissed your cheek and said, well, watch for her. Ooh,
Mm,
interesting. They're sending you somebody to help. So this
with
down.
red hair.
Yes. Watch for the lady with the red hair. That is interesting. Short, red or auburnish kind of hair. And when I said what is with this, because she doesn't feel dead, she feels alive. I see a briefcase in her hand, and I see your aunt. This is aunt, you said, right? Smile and wink.
Interesting.
Okay. So here's the other thing. It's not an accident. Last thing I want you to chew on this a little bit. It's not an accident that you're following the reading that I did before. Because did you hear what I said to her? She had to sage her home because there was other energies
Yeah.
around her that were a little more chaotic. I'm
Yeah.
feeling like you need that message as well. In your home needs to be saged because there tends to be a bit of a chaotic energy around. And I don't know who has the up and down thinking around you or whatnot, but they're very influenced by the energy in the home. I think this is your sister. Would that make sense?
Uh, sort of.
Has she had some depression or some up and down thinking recently? That's what this usually means, is distorted thinking or up and down thinking.
She's not here anymore. She's in Germany, getting married. But we've always had issues. I mean, my mom and I always had issues, and she's there. But I've been staying with my boyfriend, and I want to go back home. And it's just, I don't know. Things are not well. Things are getting better for sure, but
That's
the
why
sage thing I'm definitely gonna do.
That's why she's bringing it up, and I'm seeing sister. So she's saying, sage your environment, clear all that anxiety. No wonder I can feel your sister going up and down or up and down because I got married once. Trust me, it was one of the most stressful times of my entire life. So that makes sense to me what she's talking about there. But I feel like in order for you and your sister to get as close, because there's she's showing me that there's this, right? Coming together, going apart, coming together, going apart. And she's saying, just make sure you sage your environment around you before you engage in those relationships, even if it's on the phone. Saging your environment can make a huge difference before you have that conversation. It can eliminate any feelings of disconnection or not being on the same page. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Beta. The biggest message for you is that I think that you know that you're kind of psychic, and you know that you're very intuitive, and you know that you can feel your way through this world, even if you can't always know the answer. You kind of feel your way through this world, right?
Yeah.
And so they just said that today is about just helping you clear that path because you had some pebbles on your path. That's all. It's about learning how to understand that those pebbles were put on your path to teach you how to clear the road and not to make you fall. Because once you know how to clear that road for you, there's a whole bunch of people behind you that are walking along it as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As far as your boyfriend goes, just remember, because I feel a little bit of this as well, as far as boyfriend, which is struggle or challenge in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And it just feels like one of those situations where, how do I explain that? Almost like too much time together. Do you know what I mean? Spending too much time together breeds contempt or something. It's like you need a space from each other, but I don't think that you need to move out from each other. I think you just need to take some space away. And this can happen if you put sometimes we get in these relationships and we get unbalanced because we focus on making their lives, we put all of our focus and intention on making everything okay for them and at our sacrifice, right? And so then it becomes unbalanced. And you just have to remember, in order to be the best energy person that you can for him to contribute the best energy, you have to first put it into yourself. You have to fill up your own cup, because if you don't fill up your cup first, you have nothing positive that you got to give, right? So fill up your cup with joy and happiness first. And if that means you have to separate yourself and go to a hotel for a weekend and soak in a hot tub or whatever, you do that and then come back and then make a decision. Do not try to make a decision about this relationship while you're in the heat of that chaos. Take some breather and then come back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a great relationship with my boyfriend and we don't have problems, but it's just actually I just had before I came on, I had a conversation with him that I just need to take, some time and go back home.
Oh,
Because he
see?
was sad about that, but I just thought, we could see each other on the weekends because we also work in the same office too. So
There you go. So that's what I mean, seeing each other so much. And
yeah,
this is why they're saying that. See, I don't always know why they're saying things until you validate it, and then I get it. And so that's why they're saying that. They're trying to give you the validation that going home to see your family and taking care of your family and doing what you need to do for you is going to give you the energy that you need to love him the way that you want to love him. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Whereas if you stayed here and you didn't do that for yourself, it would breed bitterness and contempt, and then you would have nothing
yeah.
left to give to him. Mm.
Yes, makes sense.
Please know they love you very much. They're together on the other side, and they said just get ready, because once you learn to really drive your own car and you learn to feel gratitude for those situations that almost feel like they didn't work out the way they were supposed to, when you can feel great gratitude for those situations, the success just starts pouring in. And I want you to know the other thing is a part of the reason why the success was paused right now is because if you were closing deal after deal after deal, your firm or whatever this is would be throwing them at you, and you wouldn't be able to go away to go and see your sister. Everything happens exactly the way it needs to happen. And so it's slowing down your work right now in order to give you the time to go do what you need to do. And when you come back, smooth sailing.
Yeah, I'm not going to her wedding. My mom is, so
But you're doing something. You're
yeah, I'm
going
helping my
somewhere.
mom to go. No, we're in the same city, my boyfriend and I. So I mean, with my family. So not going really anywhere. Just going to a different house, I guess. Well, I wasn't really permanently with my boyfriend either, so we were just in a limbo kind of thing.
All I know is I see a bag moving. So I see bag.
Really?
I see bags and I hear them say, just don't make any irrational choices. Just take a break and then make the decision. But it doesn't
Okay.
have to be permanent. They like this one, I think. Interesting. Okay, and congratulate your sister, by the way. Grandma is showing me congratulations for her at her wedding. Just tell her to chill out and tell her how to drive her own car. Because I do feel like that anxiety, like bride anxiety. Do you know what I mean? Now that you said she's getting married, makes perfect sense to me because she's like through the roof. And just let her
Yeah.
know whatever she needs, Grandma will help bring it to her. Just got to ask.
Okay. I will.
They're pulling their energy back. I hope that was helpful.
That was. Thank you, Tracy. As
You're
always.
You're very welcome. Okay, I think I'm over my time. Amanda's gone anyway, but thank you guys all for being here, and I will see you guys again on Saturday. Take care, guys. Oh, if I can find my mouse. All right, and if I can hide these. Okay, take care, guys.